Ladies and gentlemen, I want to speak to your soul today. I want to address that yearning, that ache, that whisper in the stillness of the night when you feel like love is the missing piece of your life. But today I declare, stop looking for love. Self-worth comes first because it is the foundation upon which all meaningful relationships are built. Before you can truly connect with someone else, you must first connect with yourself. Think about it. If you don't know your own value, how can you expect others to recognize it? If you constantly look outward for validation, you're giving away the power to define who you are. Your worth doesn't come from someone else's approval, attention, or affection. It comes from within you, from an unshakable understanding of who you are and what you deserve. When you prioritize self-worth, you stop settling for less than you deserve. You no longer entertain relationships that drain you, diminish you, or make you feel small. Instead, you set boundaries not because you're pushing people away, but because you're protecting the sacredness of your heart. Self-worth teaches you to say no to anything that compromises your peace, your joy, or your integrity. It gives you the strength to walk away from situations that don't align with the best version of yourself. Self-worth isn't about arrogance or thinking you're better than others. It's about respecting yourself enough to demand respect in return. It's about knowing that your value doesn't increase or decrease based on external circumstances. Whether you're single or in a relationship, whether you're at the top of your game or going through a rough patch, your worth remains constant. It's unchanging, unshakable, and undeniable. When you truly embrace your self-worth, you start to see yourself in a different light. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself to anyone because you already know you are enough. You stop comparing yourself to others because you understand that your journey is unique and incomparable. You become confident not because someone else tells you you're beautiful, intelligent, or lovable, but because you have internalized these truths for yourself. Understanding your self-worth also means recognizing that love is not a reward for being good enough. It's a reflection of the love you already have for yourself. If you don't value yourself, you'll attract people who reflect your insecurities. But when you operate from a place of self-worth, you attract people who see your light, who appreciate your essence, and who honor the person you are. Purpose over pursuit means aligning your life with the goals, passions, and values that define who you are, rather than tirelessly chasing after love as though it is the ultimate destination. It's about understanding that your life has a greater meaning beyond romantic relationships, and focusing on that meaning gives you clarity, direction, and fulfillment. When you live with purpose, you become intentional about how you spend your time, where you place your energy, and who you allow into your life. Living with purpose means asking yourself what truly matters to you, what drives you, what wakes you up in the morning with excitement or pushes you forward when the days get tough. Pursuing these answers allows you to channel your energy into something meaningful, something that fills you with pride and passion. Love, when it arrives, should complement this purpose, not overshadow it or derail you from it. Too often, people confuse pursuit with progress. They run from one relationship to another, thinking they're chasing love, but in reality, they're running in circles, exhausting themselves without ever feeling truly fulfilled. That's because the pursuit of love for its own sake is hollow if it's not rooted in a deeper sense of self and purpose. It's like chasing shadows. The harder you try to grab hold of it, the more it slips through your fingers. When you prioritize purpose, you begin to understand that love isn't the be-all and end-all of life. It's a beautiful part of life, yes, but it's not the whole picture. You were created with gifts, talents, and a unique role to play in the world. Ignoring your purpose to focus solely on love diminishes the fullness of who you are. But when you immerse yourself in your passions, whether it's your career, your art, your family, or your community, you radiate a different kind of energy, one that draws the right kind of people toward you naturally. Purpose gives you resilience. When love doesn't go the way you hoped or when relationships end, having a strong sense of purpose prevents you from falling apart. It becomes your anchor, reminding you that your life still holds value and meaning, even in the absence of romantic love. It helps you navigate the storms, not by searching for someone to rescue you, but by steering your own ship toward the destination you've chosen. When your life revolves around pursuit, You risk losing yourself in the process. You might find yourself compromising your values, changing who you are, or chasing after people who aren't meant to be in your life. But when you live with purpose, you remain steadfast, unshaken, and grounded. You create a life that is rich and fulfilling on its own, a life that doesn't depend on anyone else for validation or happiness.
Avoiding desperation is essential because desperation blinds you to reality and clouds your judgment. When you operate from a place of desperation, you're willing to settle for less than you deserve, to accept relationships that don't honor your worth, and to compromise on values that should remain non-negotiable. Desperation stems from fear of being alone, fear of time slipping away. And when fear drives your choices, the outcomes are really fulfilling. Desperation makes you cling to people and situations that aren't meant for you. It convinces you to chase after someone who isn't pursuing you, to stay in relationships that drain your spirit, or to hold on to the hope of a love that isn't reciprocated. In this state, you ignore the red flags, dismiss your intuition, and silence a voice inside that tells you something isn't right. Instead of being intentional about the connections you form, desperation pushes you to grasp at whatever is within reach, no matter how unsuitable or harmful it may be. When you're desperate, you send a message, not just to others, but you don't believe you're enough. Desperation also creates a cycle of discontent. The more you chase love out of fear or insecurity, the more elusive it becomes. Relationships built on desperation are fragile because they're rooted in neediness, not mutual respect or genuine connection. They lack the solid foundation necessary to weather life's challenges. And when those relationships inevitably falter, perpetuating the cycle and deepening the wound. I avoid desperation means shifting your focus inward. It requires you to confront the fears and insecurities that fuel your need to cling or chase. It's about recognizing that being alone isn't the same as being lonely, and that solitude can be a powerful space for growth, for perfection, and healing. It's in those quiet moments with yourself that you can begin to understand your own needs. When you avoid desperation, you reclaim your power. You stop looking outward for someone to fill a void and instead focus on filling yourself with purpose, self-love, and confidence. You begin to approach relationships from a place of abundance rather than lack, knowing that your happiness isn't dependent on anyone else. Just elevation may compel you to rush into love. Let love be a byproduct, not the central pursuit of your life, because love flourishes most naturally when it isn't forced or chased. When you make love the focal point of your existence, you risk losing yourself in the process. But when you focus on building a fulfilling life, one that reflects your values, passions, and aspirations, will create. Love becomes an organic extension of your vision. When love is a byproduct, it doesn't come from a place of need or desperation, but from abundance. You aren't searching for someone to complete you because you're already whole. Instead, love becomes a beautiful addition to a life that is already meaningful and vibrant. You're not relying on someone else to bring you happiness, purpose, or fulfillment. But when love arrives, it adds depth and richness to what you have already created for yourself. Letting love be a byproduct means living authentically and unapologetically. It's about stepping into the fullness of who you are, embracing your strengths and imperfections, and pursuing the things that make your soul come alive. When you're passionate about your work, your dreams, your hobbies, and your community, you naturally attract people who resonate with your energy and value. These connections are built on mutual admiration and shared purpose, not on the superficial need to fill a void or check a box. When you stop chasing love and instead focus on living your truth, you allow love to come to you in its own time and in its most genuine form. There's no need to force connections or try to mold yourself into someone else's ideal. The right kind of love will align with your journey and complement your growth, not distract. Letting love be a byproduct also frees you from the constant pressure to find or maintain a relationship. It allows you to approach life with a sense of ease and openness, knowing that love will come when the time is right. You're no longer consumed by the fear of being alone or the societal expectation that your worth is tied to your relationship status. Instead, you focus on the things that truly matter to you. This perspective shifts the way you interact with others. You're no longer looking at every new connection as a potential partner or evaluating people based on how they fit into your idea of love. Instead, you're present in the moment, building genuine connections based on mutual respect, shared interests, and authentic understanding. Love, when it arrives, feels effortless and natural because it isn't the result of chasing, but of alignment. Divine timing and trust are about surrendering to the belief that everything in life happens when it is meant to, not when you want it to. It's about releasing the need to control every outcome and trusting that there is a plan greater than your own, one that is unfolding in its perfect time. When it comes to love, divine timing reminds us that the right person will arrive not a moment too soon or too late, but exactly when they're meant to, in alignment with the retreat. When you trust in divine timing, you let go of the anxiety and impatience that often accompany the search for love. You stop looking at the clock, wondering when your turn will come, and instead focus on preparing yourself for the blessings that are already on their way. Trusting doesn't mean sitting idly by. It means doing the inner work, healing old wounds, and becoming the person you can fully embrace the love you're adapted for. It's understanding that sometimes the wait is not a punishment, but a process, a necessary time of preparation and alignment. Divine timing challenges you to release your preconceived notions of how and when love should happen. It asks you to let go of the timelines you've imposed on yourself, those mental deadlines that say you should be married by a certain age or in a relationship by a specific point in your life. These arbitrary expectations only create an unnecessary pressure and can cause you to settle for less than what you truly deserve. Divine timing operates outside of human constraints, teaching you to trust the journey rather than forcing the destination. Trusting in divine timing also means accepting that delays are not denials. Sometimes the relationships you long for don't come when you expect them because you're being protected or redirected. What you perceive as a setback is often a setup for something greater. The person or relationship you think you want might not be right for you, or the timing might not be conducive to the growth and love you're meant to experience. Trust requires faith that every closed door, every heartbreak, and every moment of solitude is part of a bigger picture. Divine timing reminds you that the love is not something you can manufacture or rush. It's not about manufacturing circumstances or trying to force connections to happen. Love unfolds naturally in its own time when the conditions are right and when both people are ready to meet each other fully. Trusting in this process means believing that the universe, God, or whatever higher power you hold faith in has your best interests at heart. It's about knowing that what is meant for you will never miss you, and that what isn't meant for you will never stay. When you trust divine timing, you embrace patience, even in moments of loneliness or doubt. You understand that every season of your life has its purpose, and that the waiting period is just as important as the moments of fulfillment. Trusting means finding contentment in the now, appreciating the lesson of growth and opportunities that come with each phase. It's about building a strong foundation within yourself so that when love arrives, you're ready to receive it fully and give it freely.